Alrighty, Jeff again here. So we are now, sorry, bear with me here, I'm losing track of my, so this is the 7714 through 7718 Southeast Herald building, or the left side building if you were to stand at Southeast Herald and look right between the two buildings up the kind of the common area. So we're on the I guess this is the back side of the units here. We've got a clean out over here up against the house I'm running water through, and then another 4-inch clean out here. We do have root penetration right at the clean out. You can see that here. It's coming to the clean out joint. It's technically a root intrusion, not a terribly high risk root intrusion, but they can from time to time grow large enough to get down the line. In most cases they don't. Alright, zeroed out. This one's remaining 4-inch ABS. And we'll run the camera backwards here in a moment too. Got a tie-in coming in here, which might very well be, the other place had 2 cleanouts. It wouldn't surprise me if this one does too, or 2 separate branches that come together. Alright, there's where our concrete pipe is at. I would imagine here in just a second we're probably going to see some kind of tie-in. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to come back in. I think we may have shot straight through a tie-in from the other unit. There was an obvious Y connection that comes into the line, which I figure is probably this line connecting into it, but hard to say right now. I'm going to go right here. I think this is, if there's a tie-in at all, it's probably right about here. We'll see if this lines up with the other locate I did. Yeah, having a bit of trouble here locating, just like the other house. Once I start getting out near the road, my locates are just non-existent. I just walk all over the place out there. Right there, it's like our city main. So I'm going to pull back in distance, see if we can't pick a locate up closer in. This one, unlike the other one though, has had much more updating done to it. And I am going to do some level of reviewing of the video in better lighting. I've got a lot of sun on this side of the house over here on the screen. Okay, so you also have a line right here. So I'm going to try and get up out of that vertical drop there and see if I can locate here. Alright, so as best I can tell here, it looks like we are just kind of, if you're facing these buildings from Southeast Herald, so kind of looking straight up the middle walkway between the two. Right now I'm picking up a signal at, from that orientation anyway, front left corner. So the part of the house that faces out to the road, right around the front left corner of that which is essentially in line with the downspout coming off of there. So we do have a Y in there. Could be downspout related, could be a secondary clean out. It's kind of hard to say. My locate here is terrible. I can barely get a signal. It's not helping too. I've got a lot of overhead power lines. From what I can tell though, I've walked out near the that tie-in for the other building, and I have not got a locate that goes over that direction yet. So it's right now I'm leaning towards these two buildings are separate. I'm not seeing a lot of indication the line's running that far over there to tie into it. All right, I'll have to do a couple more here to walk this thing in, as it feels like we're starting to come up the backside of the place here. I'm trying to figure out why my locates are coming in so poorly over here. Especially in this part of the line where it's not quite as deep. Although it does actually, it starts diving there at a pretty good angle. It's a gentle, but it dives for a while. That's probably where we start picking up that much depth. And we'll see if I can catch it here. Alright, I think I'm starting to pick it up here. So about 10 feet or so, I think we may very well see a tie-in. Which will help tell me if my locates are lining up like I think they might be. There we are. Okay. So yeah, actually further out there than I think. My locates come in so poorly once you start getting past around 60 feet. I can only kind of speculate just by visually watching things and having the locates I do. You just need a stronger locating system for this one. I think a combination of depth and interference with power lines is just killing my locator. All right, so we are lining right up with, there's a cast iron clean out that we're lining up with up near the front part of the building here. That's what I was hoping to see. So another about 15 feet from that point going towards the road is going to put you about the fence line. Front fence line where the gate is at if you were to come up the back here. Or I guess the side of the building, depending on your orientation, how you look at it. If you're looking at the front doors, we're on the back side of the building. So just knowing that, they may have taken this thing all the way to the face of the curb. I wish my locates would let me verify that with certainty, but just given how far out the plastic pipe reaches, I'll have to go back and do some reviewing of the video, exactly the foot mark there where the transition is at. But you know, if that's in and around the 85-90 foot mark, that would put you very, very close, if not to about the face of the curb there. So I'm going to do some reviewing of this particular video. I just have poor lighting back here with the amount of sun glare on the screen. Watch for that. I may recommend some stuff, but again, not being able to locate exactly where that transition is at for the concrete pipe, it's hard for me to verify if any of that concrete pipe at all on this particular line even is in homeowner responsibility. It may very well all be out into city territory. Assuming this line goes straight out independently from the other building, that is about where the curb would be. So again here, this is the rearmost unit as you face this place from the roadway. We're on the back side here, technically speaking, if you're looking at the front doors. But from the roadway here, this would appear to be the left side of the building. So the line runs up this side towards the street. Then once you start getting near that front corner, it appears to kind of cross over and then straightens out. So this line is clean, functions very nicely. Concrete pipe, I may be able to find some things there, you know, from a more technical standpoint, but from a flow standpoint, line has good flow all the way to the main and is very, very clean. Oh. And before I forget here, all right, now going back towards the building. Transition over to cast iron, and you're going to likely have a very similar, you can see how daylight's coming through right there. That clean out's open right now. That's where the hose is in the line. And then right here you've got some gunk. This looks like where a drain is tying into the line. That drain there looks like it could use some cleaning. And that's back under the house by this point. It's a fairly common look when you get a lot of buildup right where a drain ties into a line. That's my guess is what that is. It's possible, without cleaning it, be able to see get a good clear shot of the top of the pipe. I mean, you theoretically could have roots reaching underneath the building and getting through there. But it's a very common location where drains tie into lines, especially if it's a drain that handles a lot of human hair and debris like that, to get it stuck right at the opening. Anyway, this line's doing a lot better than the other one, the other building. The other building is at a point where it's ready for update. This one looks like, from what I can tell, looks like they updated. Just from what I can see here right now, in the limited locates I've got, I think they took this one to the end of responsibility or got very close to it. But watch the report on this one. I may notice something in some part of the line. It's just hard to see right now with the lighting I've got.